to wrap up or to sum up from last session quickly, is you went through the cellar looking for this spellbook phylactery of Zaldera, excuse me, a lich that they're trying to squeeze some information out of. You are on the clock somewhere in the area of an hour and a half or so that they feel that they can hold off this lich while you do your job. And you have just found it, and you're right up along the area of about an hour and a half at this point. And you have to make some decisions as to whether you book it the heck out of there and get back to Calbrex, who's outside the cave entrance. The idea was to teleport you to the main fight. And just to remind you, the chest that you found it in, and I believe this was written down, but there was 200 gold pieces, there was 3 spell scrolls containing any wizard spells of your choice.
200 gold pieces, 3 spell scrolls, and a lich book.
Exactly. So we'll deal with the spell scrolls, we'll roll for them or something like that at some point. But are there any other questions, or are there any questions before we jump in?
So we have a book, and we have our characters. I think we need to get to that wizard who's waiting outside pretty quickly here, because we're running out of time, and I don't want to see the Harpers die.
Yes, so that's essentially where you are, is that you've... so if you put yourselves back into a mindset of, bam, 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 look, kill things, and then finally, bam, found the book. Some of you are hurting, some of you taking a little bit of damage, and you get the sense that that you've been into this thing for over an hour, and probably close to an hour and a half. So the question is, what do you do? Do you book it back? And if you do you book it back the same way you came? What's the plan at this point?
Earp stuffed the phylactery into his bag of holding, so he could retrieve it. And Dogar, looking directly at Gendron, Dogar, how long's it been? If the Harpers die, doesn't the lich come for us?
I don't know. I just don't think we get paid, and that's not cool.
Oh, right. Let's go. And he runs along and kind of makes a grab for Gendron to lift him up, and just kind of carrying him along, which of course Gendron can weasel out of if he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, he's small and whatnot. That's cool.
He's probably used to Earth basically bundling him along from time to time when they have to move quickly, and it's like people get out of the way of a trundling half-orc.
Mm-hmm.
So we're booking it back the way, like dash moving, the way that we came, and I'm assuming that Artorias and Lilaxu are following behind, and I'm not really checking for them.
Artorias, you see Earth grab Gendron and just start running out the door.
We're booking it as well. I mean, if I see them running, I'm not dumb enough to stay here by myself. So I'm gonna give a nod to Lilaxu and assume we both understand it. Just bolt. Okay.
And again, the idea is to get back there the same way you came.
I don't want any new traps. Earth's not particularly smart, but he's smart enough to know that if he goes back the same way he's been, he's probably not going to step on anything.
Okay. You can, without being anticlimactic, you can go ahead and just chuck your stuff outside the cave where Calbrex is waiting for you, and he sees you come ring out of the cave, and he says, "Hurry! There's not much time." And this is
I reach inside the bag of holding, and I pull this out. It's like, do you need this?
He says, "We need this. Hang on to that." And he's preparing the last stages of his ritual. Everything's all already. Sorry, go ahead.
With both hands.
Okay. So everything's already prepared to teleport. He was just waiting for you to show up to do the last minute things, and he just says, he says, "Stand still. This will only take a moment." And he utters an incantation, and there's this flash of blue light, and all of a sudden, you leave the spot that you're at, and you arrive at another spot in front of again this. This tower on top of this hill, and you had gone in the bottom of the hill, for lack of a better term, into the basement again, for lack of a better term. And so now you're at the front of this hill, and the tower's on top of it, and there are dead and dying harpers all around you, and you've been teleported into the thick of everything, and you hear and you also see like skeletons and zombies and demon constructs also as well. So this would be Zeldara's making, of course. So this fight has just been devastating on both sides. And the monolithic tower of black stone in front of you there, you smell flesh burning and ring of steel emanating from all over the place, and you hear this voice that says, "Stay there." And you turn to see Remelia. This is the elf this is the elf that first brought you to Darthra in Tribor, and basically said you can either be in prison or you can help us out. And so she, trying to do a little bit of catching up here, because it's been a few weeks, and and her left leg is like burned flesh, and her right arm is limp and bleeding as well. She's obviously been in the fight, and she screams towards the tower, and she says, "Zeldara, it is done. We have your spell book." And she's pointing. Your Urf is grasping it with both hands, I think you said.
Yeah, it's like to be honest, Urf is now looking at her, looking at him, looking at the tower. It's like, oh.
Urf is probably having a trouble figuring out how he just got into this clearing of the forest in front of a tower when he was just outside of a cave.
He understands the notion of teleportation. He doesn't understand how it works, but it happens.
Yeah.
Part of his mind is, that was really cool. The next part of his mind is slowly catching up to the fact that he's holding a Lich's phylactery near the Lich's tower, and the Lich knows he's got it. And it's like, oh, fuck.
Well, that's Remelia yells out and says, "It's done. We have your spell book," and is pointing to whoever has the spell book, so it's Urf as proof. And with that, an instant later, there's this terrible crack, and all of a sudden, appearing before you is this woman that you would first describe as beautiful, except for half of her face is carved away or melted away or something, and just revealing a skull. So half normal and half skull, and she has a ragged breath, and she also has multiple wounds and fresh wounds as well. And she points a finger at Remelia. This is total Darth Vader type thing, and Remelia lifts high into the air and obviously is having trouble breathing, and then she just kind of clenches her fist in a certain way, and Remelia just falls limp to the ground. All while doing this, she's not even looking at Remelia. She's looking directly at Urf as Remelia lifts up in the air and then crumples down and says, "Give me my book." And I will have everybody make insight checks, please. And if anybody needs me or somebody to roll an insight check, please let me know.
Gendron's kind of triggered right now, and I don't know if I just auto fail.
You can roll with disadvantage.
He's looking like he's about to run.
Okay.
Can you roll for me?
Yeah. And do you want to roll at disadvantage?
Yeah, because he looks like he's about to bolt.
Okay.
And a bit wild-eyed right now.
All right. Insight. So you naturally failed.
That one.
I'm telling you, it was in the stars.
There you go. And 1 second, got to make a quick note.
Or I should say, Artorias.
And I'm not sure how observant you are, but Earth might be noticing that he looks like he's about to fold. He's probably got his hands like his finger digging into your arm.
Okay, if you're actually latching on to Earth, he actually looks down. It's like, it's going to be okay, Odogar. I think.
And his face is looking pretty pained.
Stay with me.
I think Earth and Gendron have spent enough time together that Earth would pick up on whatever.
Yeah, and he's trying to comfort Gendron, despite the fact that he himself is nearly shitting himself right now. But the other thing creeping into Earth's mind is how his chances of tearing this book in two.
Anyway. Yep.
But however, I believe you get to go.
Yes, thank you. Off the rolls, Artorias, you're the only one. So the rest of you are first level. You're all first level characters, and you are in front of a lich now, and she just crumpled somebody beside you. So you all have your worries and fears. Artorias, you are just with it enough and perceptive enough at this point to recognize, or at least a good guess at. You're checking her out. You're checking the wounds and stuff like that. You're checking how she's kind of holding herself and things like that. And you're thinking she's pretty messed up. She's been taken down a number of notches in the fight alone, even though a lot of the Harpers are down as well. So you're getting the sense that for all her tough talk, she is as worried of a fight as you guys may be at this point.
Do I get the sense that we could take her? Is that a feeling I get, or is it like do I get a feeling, obviously, to take out all these Harpers, she's clearly quite powerful. Like
Someone's channeling lore.
Maybe a little bit.
We'll get to lore. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know this isn't a female lich, but there's your lich right now. It's not so. You don't know whether you can take her or not take her. You kind of have these conflicting things about there's a possibility you can take her, but maybe not. But there's also a possibility that maybe you have the upper hand in negotiating too, and it's kind of up to you whether the sword comes out or the politician in you starts. And the rest of you can obviously get in on this once Artorias, however which way he may make this known. But you're the only person at this moment that recognizes that there's a balance of power here, and you may have it, or your side may have it.
The way Artorias is coming from, it's not so much to not purely to be aggressive. It's she's a lich, he's a cleric. It's like, and he not only is he a cleric, he's a Tempest cleric, and that's like, to him, it's look, undead have to be purged. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the kind of thing. His kind of mindset. But I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. So what's I'll give you first call at things at this point.
Didn't we also, like, this is the player speaking.
Yeah.
Didn't we also come here because we wanted her to answer some questions?
Yes. So given that we've had a few weeks between these sessions, that's a good thing to remind is that the whole point of this was to get her spell book, her phylactery, so that you could the Harpers could negotiate with her and find out what the heck's going on in the world, because people are dying, not being resurrected, and they're trying to they figure it's a localized issue, and they're trying to figure out what that thing is.
Trying to figure out about the whole
But that said, killing a lich at level 1 looks really good on your resume too.
I mean, look, I wasn't gonna say it, but now you're selling it to me, bro. But
to metagame a little bit on the XP side, let's let's be honest
not
about who
gonna
did.
get the
Let's
whole
be honest, who did the
attitude,
most of the work up to now.
I mean, you know, most of those guys are dead as well. So does it? I mean, can they really get experience if they're dead? I mean, don't technically they forfeit that experience?
So Artorias, while the others in this moment of this lich appearing and a little bit of fear and what the hell to do, you're the only one with a little bit of clear thought right now and realize that this lich isn't all the power that she usually would be. So,
Okay.
do you?
So the first thing I'm going to do is what would you say the marching order is like right now, position wise?
What did we determine? Because I forgot to do that before the start of this.
I believe it was me and Leilaxu in front normally, followed by Artorias and Jedrin.
Me behind her.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to mention though, because I just have to check my character sheet, and I do. I would have given lent my rapier to our cat dude.
Okay.
Because it
Hooray!
makes sense for.
So
for him
Leilaxu
to
has
be-
a good rapier on loan.
Exactly.
Okay.
Perhaps you don't know. Loan to Relaxu is. I have now. He's mine.
It's okay. I know I can take it back.
So along the bottom, I've ordered you in order of. But it's probably
And
more like
if 2x2, Gendron's directly behind Urf.
it's probably 2x. You're in an open expanse, but it's probably kind of a 2x2 type of situation, as opposed to just one long line or one line of 4. So yeah, what's the plan?
I know what I want to do.
I also know what Laura wants to do, but what does Artorias want to do?
I mean, look, if this was lore, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now.
Yes, but this isn't lore. This is Artorias. You'll get to play lore later
We'd be
on.
rolling for initiative. No, I know. So, assuming that Earth and Gendron aren't going to, I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe Defit can tell me what Earth is doing. Like, is he just standing still? Like, is he?
This is all happening in a few seconds. So
Right now, Urf is standing there, book clenched in both hands, and has actually spent the last couple of seconds quietly talking to Gendron, trying to calm him down and make sure that he doesn't just bolt, because then Urf has 2 things to worry about.
So, just remind me quickly, Brett. What was the name of the lich? I keep forgetting.
yeah, Zeldera.
Zeldera.
Zeldera. Yeah, Zeldera.
Zeldera. Okay.
Otherwise known as, what is she otherwise known as? If I can find it quickly, I'll tell you. It's kind of a neat little name.
Dark Lady or something? I don't know.
Duchess of Rot. There you go.
Ooh, that's a cool name.
That's a good name.
Yeah, I like that.
Artorias, if you kill her, you could probably take that name.
I mean, look,
Is Artorias male or female?
he's male.
Male. Okay.
Okay.
So it's all guys here, right?
Yeah. Or you could marry her and become the Duchess of Rot. Anyways, Artorias,
I mean, look, you're putting forth
the
some
Duke of
solid
Rot,
ideas here.
I should say. Yeah.
Putting forth some solid ideas here. I'm down for this. I might have to, betray the party right now.
Yeah.
Given my insight check, I will try. I mean, it's a bit difficult with Earth in front of me, but I will try and be like, try to tell the guys, be like, look, hold up. The first thing I do is I'm going to look at her. With my weapon stowed, obviously, hand on the hilt of my blade, still in the sheath. I will look at her, like, with the other hand, just, palm open, like, look, hold on. I'll be like, Zeldara, stay your blade. And see how she responds. I'm going to take this one step at a time.
Yeah. She looks at you a little curiously, but certainly keeping one eye on Earth and the phylactery, and says, I do not need a blade. Give me what is mine.
No.
Actually, man, come on, hold on.
What? No, no, don't give. No, no.
I am. I
I hurt to get this. I'm not giving it away.
assume Lelex is like right next to me since we were the last ones out.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna lean over to him and fight the urge to slap him upside the head. And be like, I'm gonna just lean in and whisper. I'm like, take a closer look at her body. Take a closer look at damage she sustained. She's just as weak right now as we are. If we fight, there's no doubt that most of us will die to her. Perhaps we can convince her to give us the answers we seek in exchange for her phylactery.
What if we give her phylactery? Then she turn us into juice, like that.
Well, to be fair, right now we're going to be turning to juice regardless. The least we can do is try to bargain for our lives and the answers we seek.
Out of curiosity, what's Calibrex doing in all of this?
Actually, Calbrex teleported you, but I'm sorry. Yes, teleported all of you. He is at this point a little bit more worried about Romalia. When he saw her go down, he was quite taken by that, and is by her side trying to looks like administer help.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess Laxi's gonna look at Arturus and just be like, "Well, if you wanna ask her some questions, I mean, we have leverage here with the bag. This is the time to do it."
Yeah. I mean, my only fault is I have no spells left. Some of us are quite injured. We're not
I
going to
have
survive
one
that.
hit point.
Yeah.
So
And I almost died in that battle, so let's
talk rather than die.
let's talk.
I'm fine. But I'm
You're about to run away.
Yep.
So I'm going to look back at I'm going to be I'm just going to say if I would like to try step forward next to Earth and kind of just place my arm on his shoulder, and try and calm him, and be like, "Look, easy there, big guy. let's take a breath for a moment." And I'm just gonna look at her and say, "Duchess of Rot."
And she winces. She winces a little bit of that.
Do you know why we are?
Sorry, you cut it there a little bit. Do you know why? Which?
Do you know why we are here?
And she, again, keeping an eye on the phylactery, says, "You're obviously here to steal what is mine. We had a deal. I was..." And so, again, going back a few weeks, the idea was they knew this lich was located here. It was a "you don't bother us, we won't bother you" type of deal. And obviously that deal is no longer. So she says, we had a deal. And you come and steal from me and attack me. You should all be dead right now. Give me my book.
Leilaxu leans into Ginger's ear and whispers, why does it smell so bad? Do you smell that it's just awful? But I'm whispering, so hopefully
He looks like
hears
he's about to bite you. He is looking kind of wild-eyed. You can tell that there's something wrong.
He's got the serious fight or flight thing going on right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And
all right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Artur.
Okay.
It's fine, man.
Earth is basically still. It's okay, Dogar. Okay, I'm here.
I say back. You're correct, Mistress of Rot. You did have a deal. Unfortunately, we were not the ones who broke that deal. We, and I point to us four here, we were sent here to steal your phylactery on the orders of those who would betray your deal. And the reasons why they have decided to go against this agreement you had is unfortunately, because there have been some strange happenings as of late, and they think you are responsible, and that you are the cause, and that you can give them answers.
And she just looks at. Go ahead.
I was just quickly out of game. How much do we know again about the events about the whole undeath thing?
Yeah,
In the story?
that at this point you don't know it's kind of global wide or it's
Yeah.
been so this is a few weeks back from where we ended Storm King Sunder, and so they figured, okay, this is similar to what goes on with liches and stealing souls into phylacteries to keep liches alive. So let's go talk to a lich and find out exactly what's going on. There's been some thinking that, well, it's mainly affecting more well-to-do people. Certainly not a lot of commoners and poor people. So maybe it has something to do with money. Maybe it's some sort of curse to upend Faerun and economy and stuff like that. But all they know is that it seems to be like nobody's being raised and people that that are dying. So let's go talk to a lich kind of thing and find out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it's at. And she's just seething. She's on the edge of. She's trying to figure out same thing you guys are trying to figure out, which is attack or talk type of thing. But she just wants that book.
Yeah. I say, look, I understand that you cannot part with your phylactery, so let us break into a deal. We don't want to die, and I can tell by the battle you just encountered, your wounds are quite grievous as well. So, we are not your enemy. We were forced to come here, forced on this mission to steal this phylactery from you. If you can give us the information we seek, we will give back your phylactery and we will just disappear. We do not care what you do. The deal you had was between you and I forget who. I don't know who broke the deal between us, but look,
the Harpers in general.
Yeah. So between you and the Harpers, it's nothing to do with us. We are not part of the Harpers.
Mm-hmm.
I say that like ignorantly, like maybe some of us are. I don't know. I say that ignorantly. I say, look, just give us the information. We want to know what is the cause of this whole. I mean, perhaps do you know of these events about people being raised from the dead with no effects? About people. There was strange occurrences with death and undeath, and as a lich, you are the closest thing we have to information of someone who could know the cause of this occurrence.
Okay. Give me either, depending on how you want to do this, if you're intimidating or persuading her, give me an intimidation or persuasion check, and then the rest of the gang, including yourself, can also give me a perception check as well.
Ooh, I perceive things.
And go ahead and Artorias, give me a perception as well. And yeah, Irf, you seem to be too focused on.
I'm focused on Gendron right now.
Okay. When you mention the things going on and stuff like that, Lilaxu and Artorias, you kind of notice a look in her eye that she recognizes what you're talking about. But in terms of your persuasion, she just looks at you and says, "If I die, I return. If you die, you do not return. Give me the book."
Lilaxu will kind of peek his head over his brother's shoulder, or like adopted brother, anyway.
Mm-hmm. It's fine.
And,
just call your brother. Cooler that way.
Call my brother. Right, so I lean my little fuzzy head over my brother's shoulder, and I look at her, at the lich, and I go, "We will give you book, yes, but you must give information. Quid pro quo." What say you?
I say, give me the book first, and I will give you information, but you must hand over the book now.
That seems like bad deal. I mean, we give you book, you make juice out of us. I don't want juice out of me. I like to make juice in me. No. So, And then I kind of look around and I'm like, please help someone.
Yeah, I
Help me persuade.
I will help him, but I want to help from seeing that a more diplomatic approach kind of failed. I'm going to take a more intimidating approach, and I will sword still sheathed. I will like kind of draw it like just a few inches to show the blades, and then on my other hand, I'm going to produce my holy symbol. I'm going to say, look, Sildara, I've tried to be nice about this. Clearly, you can see I'm a cleric. I can prevent you from coming back, and I will destroy this book as well. It does not matter if we die, you'll die as well. Give us the information we seek. That's all we want from this, and you can have your book, and we will leave you to do whatever it is you do.
Okay, before you roll, I'll allow it because you're switching from being nice to being mean. I will allow the advantage, like the help, like you're all kind of bearing down. If you fail this, then persuasion and intimidation against her will be at disadvantage in the future. So you got one shot here, Luke.
I'm trying to use the force, man.
you got advantage on this because you're all kind of bearing down on her. But after this,
okay, since Alexi was the one who initiated, am I giving help to him, or is he giving help to me?
I will allow you guys to choose if you want to meta a little bit and figure out who's got the better intimidation. It's got to be an intimidation roll. That's what you're going at.
I have a +3.
But I'm actually going to go between Artorias and Lilaxu.
I was going to say, at this point, Earth noticing, like, kind of cluing in on a few things, is like, he takes the book, he opens it, and he holds one half in each hand. He's not trying to read it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I could rip it in two.
Okay.
Oh, I like that. Let's use him. Can we use him for our roll? Advantage.
So, Earth?
It seems reasonable, right, GM?
Yep, Earth, you go ahead and if you want to, roll your intimidation with advantage.
I growl a little bit just to give it a little extra.
Does it come out as a growl or a purr?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's definitely a growl.
Oh, yeah.
Woo!
She,
That's not a growl.
yeah.
But yeah,
Good
it's
roll.
like, I just basically, I could rip it in two.
I saw the 12, I forgot the advantage. I'm like, oh. And the DM, like, damn.
When the DM is smiling, it's already too late.
So she looks at you, threatening to rip this book, and she is seething, and she's just in all kinds of emotion at this point. And she just looks at you and says, "Put the book down. What do you want to know?" And she's just like, do not make one more movement to make it look like you're going to rip that book.
I, staring at her, very carefully close the book, hold it in one hand, and very carefully take hold of Jedrin's hand beside me.
Mm-hmm.
And I look over at Arturius and Lex, and it's like, I kind of nod in my head. It's like trying to insinuate, start talking, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I give him.
But
a
I don't
nod.
actually say that. This is all just basically
Yeah.
body language.
Yeah.
I've closed the book. I've ratcheted things down. I grabbed hold of Gendron's hand. It's like, I've got you. And now, Earth's just trying not to wet himself.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I give him a nod to Earth. I mean, and I just like quietly under my breath, like I want to. Somebody puts it down in front of him. I want to step forward, kind of like.
Well, I'm still holding it. I've
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
closed
so I
it.
put it down. Okay.
You just back down from looking
Yeah.
like you're ripping it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like I something needed to give, so here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah. I give Earth a nod and I just say good job, big guy. And
Stupid ass grin goes across Earth's face for a moment, and then he realizes where he is, and it's like, well,
and I look back at Zeldara and I say, so do we have a deal? Are you gonna Give us the answers we seek.
And yeah, she's like, what? She wants that damn book back. So what you want? I'll give you the information, and then get the hell out of here, type of thing. So
can we pull Calbrix at this point? Can I look over to him and be like, well, we got what you wanted. What do you want to ask the lady?
Yeah, during all this, Calbrix has been kind of administering to Remelia, and has pulled out a healing potion, and Remelia is back a couple of hit points, but certainly looking pretty bad. And so you'd like Calbrix to kind of intervene at this point, and ask the question.
Kind of the idea I had. I mean, we did what we were supposed to do and get a dialogue open between these two parties. So, if the main Harper lady is back up with a couple of hit points, I would love for her to ask. Sure. The Duchess of Rot, whatever it is she wants to know.
Okay, well, Calbrix gets Remelia up. Calbrix is a halfling, and Remelia is an elf, and gets kind of Remelia up, supporting her, and noticing how weak and hurt she is. Calbrix starts to do the talking and says, "People are dying. People cannot be raised. Do you know anything about this? This is similar to what this looks similar to what liches would do with phylacteries and stuff." As she kind of points towards the book, and Zadara says that she has been researching the death curse, this thing, and she says it is not local. It is not discriminatory. It is not after the wealthy or people with money. There's only one thing that could cause such a phenomena, and she describes what she names the soulmonger. It's an ungodly, necromantic thing. Whether it's a thing, a person, you're not too sure, but she names it the soulmonger. This is where the souls seem to be going. This is why people cannot raise the dead, and this is why people that have been raised before are withering away. Is because their souls are not coming back. They're being trapped. The purpose behind this, she's not too sure, but she does know that the amount of dark energy. That the potential amount of dark energy that a soulmonger can gather is enough to power an undead being like the world has never seen. That
sounds bad.
It's
horrifying.
It's crappy for everyone on this earth, this world.
Can I ask a question to the Lich too? Can I ask?
Yeah.
What is the dynamic of your relationship with the Soulmonger? Is it your boss?
and she looks at you and she says nothing. Like she, bile and spit. It's like nothing. I have nothing to do with that, because it is making it tougher for us ourselves to trap souls in our own phylacteries, which is liches. If they don't maintain themselves through their phylactery and by trapping souls and such, they fall into I think it's a demi-lich state. They basically they're still around, but they're not as powerful as a lich.
Liches every once in a while basically steal someone's soul to power themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the whole point of the
right now,
phylactery.
new liches aren't being made right now. Then, huh? With the death curse going on, I guess.
I don't think that it's not that they can't be made. It's that they can't maintain themselves at lich status, which is your more powerful status.
Checks just went up.
So
it's like they're operating like 20%.
Yeah, they fall to what's called demi-lich. So if a lich kind of lets themselves go and doesn't care about the phylactery, then they
really let yourself go.
Yeah, exactly. they've got their own issues with that. So she's none too happy, and so she just kind of spits out. She says, "I have nothing to do with this. I just know from my own research that the only thing, or one of the few things that could be doing this, would be a soulmonger. and it is reaching out to the entire world. Anyone who dies will not be raised, and anyone who has been raised will die. So this is what's happening to Lore. This is what's happening to I'm already forgetting Storm King's Thunder people. Prile.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Calbrex says,
Krebs got ideas now, although he has to come across the same information somehow.
yeah. Calbrex says, what else do you know? Where or what is the soulmonger? What can we do? And Zeldara's answer to that is, I have not been able to pinpoint any exact locations. If I could, then I could take care of it, or potentially take care of it. But I do know that it is south, far south, in a land that is known as Chult. Somewhere there, for some reason, the soulmonger has been gathered and activated. And it is there that if anybody wishes to do anything about it, that they should travel.
Leilaxi's ears perk straight up when he hears Cholt.
Mm-hmm.
Gets a little bit excited.
Mm-hmm.
Might even lean forward to Artoris and be like, "Hey, that's where the what the fuck am I? The Tabaxi are from."
One of the places.
One of them.
Actually, originally from across the sea.
Oh, okay. But there's more of them in the south,
population.
right?
Yeah,
okay.
There's a big population in Chult too.
Gotcha. But there's less.
You'd actually be completely unaware of the overseas origin. You may only know of the ones in Chult.
Yeah, and I probably only know those as like vague childhood memories and stuff. So anyway.
Yep. And now she looks at Earth, who still has the book, and she says, I have given you all that I know. Now, on penalty of death, give me my book.
I look over at Calbrex. If he nods, then I very, gripping Gendron with one hand and very gingerly and gently extending the book out to the Lich, if Calbrex nods.
Mm-hmm. Calbrex kind of takes look at the situation, looks at Remelia. They're kind of picking up on the same things you are. Remelia's been involved in the fight and the battle, and recognizes that Zeldara is pretty drained, and thinks that this is the only way that they're probably going to get out of here without more of a fight. So gives the nod.
Okay. Earth very gently, very deliberately, so as not to get the half-dead lady in front of him is freaking him out.
Yep.
And it's like, extend the book out and just here you go.
Mm-hmm. She reaches out a hand and leans in as she does this, so her face kind of gets a little bit close to you, and grabs the book and just kind of holds it there, whether or not you hang on to it when she grabs
I let go. It's
okay.
As soon as she takes it, I let go, take a step back, and I basically pull Gendron in towards me, interposing myself between Gendron and the Lich.
As she does that, so she holds the book, and it's like it's sitting there in midair because
larger than I am.
because she's not taking it back right away. She's just holding it there for dramatic effect, and just moments before you kind of back up. As soon as you let go of it, she kind of sniffs the air a little bit, and she looks right at you, and she says, "I will remember you." And then she steps back with the book, and she keeps an eye on each one of you, and she steps back a little bit more.
1 second.
What's that?
Moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. At saying that, there's a smell coming from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Damp patch in front of him. Failed the DC 10.
And she steps back a bit and she says, "Now, leave, unless you want the battle to start again."
Believe me, as people who wanted no part in this battle to begin with, I think we're going to go.
Yeah. So Ramalia certainly, kind of nods, and we will gather our wounded, and we will take care of our dead, but we will not attack. Just give us leave to do that. And Zaldar just kind of gives her a stinky eye, and then turns and leaves. So you're left on the battlegrounds with dead and dying around you on both sides.
I'm gonna look around and say, well, you know what they say. The enemy of your enemy is a stinky undead lich that made my big friend pee himself and made me almost poo myself. That's great.
I do hear they say that.
Yeah. Urf actually kind of leans into Jedra and whispers in the ear, like, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't even say anything, but so, and also like he's kind of covering his face a bit with his arm.
Mm-hmm. Calbrick's
kind of
go ahead.
Down to be on eye level with the Gendrins, just kind of holding his hand and being there.
Mm-hmm. Calbrick's turns to Ramalian and says, "We must return quickly to Darthra in Tribor." And Ramalia says, "No, send message to Darthra." And obviously Ramalia is just beat up. Send message to Darthra, but ride quickly for Yartar. Use our network to contact our benefactor. You must cut across. It will take you twice as long to go via Tribor. So what she's talking about is, instead of going north to Tribor and then east to Yartar, cutting the angle and going across the hills of the valley. And she looks at the four of you and says, "This is much, much larger than we could have ever feared for." And if you remember, if you tackled this properly, you would have you would receive 500 gold pieces, I believe was the 500 gold pieces,
Mm-hmm.
which is a pretty nice sum actually for
first level. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and she says you will receive your reward if you go back to Tribor. But I plead with you to protect Calbrex on the way to Yartar to get him there as quickly as possible. And when you arrive, you will not only receive your reward, but you will receive an extra 100 gold pieces. You can go your own way now and continue your adventures, or you can help us this one last time, because I believe there's more to be dealt with. It is up to you, but I wish that you would at least give Calbrex safe passage to Yartar as quickly as possible. It is better for 5 of you to go than 1.
What do you think, Dogar?
He said gold, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he said gold.
You can barely hear him through his sleeve because he's still covering his face.
Yeah, that's okay. Urf's used to this, and he's being really soft and really
gold.
patient.
Let's just get out of here. Anything to get away from here, and gold. He said gold.
So, Urf turns to Calbrex. Which way?
And Calbrex points northeast and says, I know the way. Artorias and Lilaxu?
Well, I'm pretty sure my brother's going to want to go, so I will tag along, of course. Also, extra gold is always good. I mean, just saying.
Yep.
I think Artorias is hesitant, but at the same time, it's like, look, we're probably heading in the same direction anyway, so we're probably heading in the same direction anyway, so why not? We might as well see it through.
Okay.
Gendron goes over his crossbow and make sure everything's working all good as he's getting ready.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you, at the beginning of this, received some healing potions or healing scrolls or whatever. So it's up to you whether you you probably at the very least have a chance for a short rest here, or you can pop some potions and get going ASAP. It just depends on what kind of resource management you want to do. But
there's actually something I want to do.
Yeah.
But I might need to talk to you about it, Brett.
Okay. Before we get into that, the general idea is as quickly as you can, you get going and head to Yartar and take Calbrex there. It just depends on whether you leave right now or leave within an hour after a short rest. But that's probably as much time. The short rest is as much time you're going to be given by both the urgency of the situation and also getting the hell off of the Duchess's front lawn.
We can go for a bit and then take an hour because I could use a hit die.
I'm kind of looking at Irf at this point, yeah.
Irf's a little busted up, and he needs to find a stream somewhere and wash.
Mm-hmm.